Hey there again, Cinephiles. My name's Jeremy.
And I'm Robbie.
And today we're starting a brand new video series. We're counting down the days to The Last Jedi, and we are reviewing each of the Star Wars films back from 1977. And today we're starting with number 1, Star Wars A New Hope.
Yes.
I hope you enjoy.
20th Century Fox and George Lucas bring you an adventure unlike anything on your planet.
Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope was released way back in 1977, so we're up to the 40th anniversary for this film. And it stars Mark Hamill, Carrie Fisher, Harrison Ford, Alec Guinness, and of course the great James Earl Jones as the voice of Darth Vader.
Yeah, wow, a start to a great series.
Yeah.
Luke Skywalker, growing up on a desert planet of Tatooine, he gets caught up in everything, you know, without any spoilers. I mean,
Spoilers will be at the end of the video.
Yeah. He runs into these two droids that are holding secret messages from, you know, the rebellion, which is like pretty much the good guys,
yes.
essentially. Carrie Fisher is
Princess Leia.
Princess Leia, yeah. She's on the Council's ship, and she has the secret messages hidden in these droids who find their way to Tatooine, essentially.
Yes. Yeah.
Luke stumbles across the droids, and then gets caught up in a massive fiasco.
Which now is spanning over 8 episodes.
Yeah, 40 years.
Yeah. So the first one was directed by George Lucas, and I'm pretty sure he wrote it by himself. He didn't write the other ones by himself, but this one was entirely on him.
He came up with everything.
Yes. It's his world, his universe, and what an amazing first film.
Yeah.
Not my favourite of the original trilogy, but it's still a very, very solid film.
Yeah. Something about the film that I love to talk about is that it wasn't the first of the original 6 that I watched.
Me neither. My first entry into Star Wars was Phantom Menace.
Right, yeah, well mine was Revenge of the Sith, actually. But having watched the prequels first and then watching the original trilogy, I noticed that the original trilogy is like, it's amazing how much, you know, a prequel series can change your views.
Oh, yeah.
And then when I got a bit older and I watched the original trilogy, forgetting about the prequels, I realised Star Wars is such like a revolutionary film.
Yeah, for
There's
sure.
so much to it. If you forget about the backstories from all the characters that are explained in the prequels, it is such a beautiful standalone film.
Yeah.
And it has everything, you know, it has a sense of heartbreak, it has adventure, it has, you know, even comedy thrown in there.
Oh, a lot of comedy, a lot of tragedy.
Yeah.
This was like a milestone for film, for cinema.
Yeah.
You know, breaking so many boundaries, it was so far ahead of its time. And if you think about just 2 years before A New Hope was Jaws, where they were having trouble with a mechanical shark.
Yeah.
And here they're, you know, presenting a full fleshed out galaxy on screen.
Taking CGI to the next level.
Incredible. And that is obviously a lot down to George Lucas. He was a pioneer in that, in special effects. I mean, he founded Skywalker Sound and
still one of the biggest sound studios of, you know, Hollywood at the moment. So.
Pretty much is the biggest one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just stunning what this film kicked off, not just in the Star Wars franchise, but just for film in general. And I mean, yes, there are some things that do look dated now, but I mean, it's 40 years old.
Yeah.
You have to look past that thing, those kind of things, and you can't compare it to a film that's made today. Like, you just can't do that. It's unfair to it. You just got to be able to just look at the story and the film as a whole and how it presents itself, and it still holds up today, I think.
Yeah, I think it does. I mean,
the Death Star trench run looks incredible still.
I mean, but when I watch, you know, those sort of films, like you said, I completely look past it. I don't even think about that sort of stuff. I'm more immersed in the character development more so with the older films, because I feel like they did it so well back then, and especially with the Star Wars. I mean, like, look at Luke now. He's such an insane character. Like, you know, we've seen this Last Jedi trailer and we're going crazy because we want to know what happens to him, and to think that he came from this small boy that, you know, Mark Hamill wasn't even well known, and he's just
such small beginnings both on screen and off screen,
and now look at him. Like, it's amazing.
Yeah. So getting into more of the characters of the film, obviously the main trio are Luke, Han and Leia, and I mean, I've compared them before to Harry, Ron and Hermione, where it's three completely different personalities come together to form a whole, and you need that in a leading trio. If they're all the same, it just gets boring. Whereas here, because they're all so different, you get the clashing personalities, particularly between Leia and Han, because they're just such hotheads.
Yeah.
And it's so much fun. And then you bring in all the side characters. You know, you got Chewie and R2 and C-3PO. Of course, you got Darth Vader, chasing them all.
Beautiful villain. Oh my goodness.
Well, you know, just amazing what James Earl Jones was able to do. The voice, what they were able to do, just the look of him is so iconic. That entrance, the entrance he has where he's just coming through the door through the smoke, and you hear the mask for the first time.
And to think that was original, like that came from George Lucas's
imagination,
and that's literally all it was. Is him just sketching, you know, drawing, writing a script, and that's what he came up with.
Yeah, just amazing.
Unbelievable.
And then just the design of everything, like, it's got such an aesthetic to it. The Millennium Falcon and the Death Star.
So unique.
Chewie is hands down one of my favourite characters in the entire series. And the thing is, a man in a suit that's just covered in fur.
Yeah.
And he's got so much emotion. All he does is growl and roar.
Yeah.
But he's got such personality, and then of course we have to mention John Williams.
Oh, the score.
Yeah.
Oh man.
To think that so many of these amazing scores came from the one man, and then
what can't he do?
Yeah. And then just so many amazing scores and themes just from the same franchise. I mean, every single Star Wars film introduced a brand new theme, and they've all just been stunning.
John Williams revolutionized his own, like, technique of using music.
Yes.
That's what he did. He used his music once, and it was mind-blowing, and then he's just done that continuously, and it's continuously mind-blowing.
Yeah.
And it's just,
it's fantastic what he's done. So Vader is the big, I mean, he's always the big bad guy, but here you feel like he is the top of the chain.
Yeah.
And he's so intimidating. And commits genocide.
He's a Sith Lord.
Yeah. So we'll jump into spoilers now, quickly, before we wrap up.
Yeah, well... yeah, I think...
The major spoiler is Ben Kenobi's death.
And it's made very clear early on that Ben Kenobi and Darth Vader had a history.
Yes.
And I think, you know, I mean, that's exactly what set up the three prequels. Was just, honestly, the main storyline was developing the character development behind Obi-Wan and Anakin, who was Darth Vader. But yeah, that's the big one, and that's, I mean, it made me sad because I thought he was an awesome mentor.
Oh, it's fantastic. And it's like you're saying just a second ago, where you know, we do get some backstory, but it's still a brand new movie, really. And to think that I mean, now we connect to Obi-Wan, especially because we have Ewan McGregor. But back then, it was just Alec Guinness, just for those few scenes in A New Hope. And we get so much, you feel so much history between these two characters, even though when they fight on screen, that's the first time on screen you see them together. And Vader, I think, references Obi-Wan maybe once beforehand. Obi-Wan, or Ben Kenobi is called in A New Hope, references Vader a couple of times, but he keeps Vader and Anakin kind of separate.
A few other spoilers are, well, at the end of the film, the Death Star gets blown up and the good guys win. But also, Princess Leia's home planet of Alderaan gets destroyed.
When I was saying genocide before, that's what I was referring to.
Yeah. And Grand Moff Tarkin is the sort of one at the helm behind that. But I think that scene where Alderaan gets completely destroyed is obviously a turning point in the film. But it also completely sets up development for Princess Leia and her character, because that's pretty much what sets her off on her journey throughout the films. Luke gets his whole home burnt to the ground at the start of the film.
Yeah, Aunt Beru and Uncle Owen. Yeah.
So he doesn't have anywhere to go except, you know, with the Jedi and to fight the Empire. Whereas Princess Leia, she had a lot to lose and she lost it all.
Yeah.
So that was something that I thought was pretty, you know, touching in that sense.
Definitely. Let's finish the major spoilers in A New Hope. Most of the spoilers in the Star Wars series come later on, especially in Empire, Empire's got the big one, which is pretty much famous now anyway.
Yeah.
All round great movie. Star rating, what are you giving it?
I give it 4.
4 stars as well for A New Hope.
Star Wars, a billion years in the making.
The Force will be with you, always.
Alright, those were our thoughts on A New Hope, the very first Star Wars film. What do you guys think about it? Comment down below and give us your opinion. Keep an eye out for our next Star Wars review, which will be on The Empire Strikes Back. It will be out very shortly, as we count down to The Last Jedi. If you like what you saw, please subscribe down below. Until next time guys, I'm Robbie.
I'm Jeremy.
And we'll see you at the movies.